one stop, family shop. Think Thayer, come on, let's get rolling. Come on, let's get moving. Think Thayer.
Matt is, at this point, just making it look easy. What about Matt's preparation is allowing him to have so much success? Because if it was easy, then everyone would be doing what he does every week.
I wouldn't say it's easy. He's pretty banged up. He's been holding the ball to. He's been doing a great job of holding the ball to the very last minute to make sure the wide receiver is completely open before he's been letting it go. So he's been taking some shots, but he really prepares the right way. He goes about his business in a professional manner, and he spends a lot of time at it. I mean, I've said it before. He's a gym rat, and he's always around here watching tape, making sure that he's doing everything he can do to be absolutely right.
I don't want to ask you to compare, but I do want to ask you to compare. How is Matt compared to Jimmy Garoppolo at this point in your system?
In which way?
As a quarterback, in terms of productivity, how are they similar or different?
They're close to being similar. Again, you would have to think if there's something about going through this the second time, and Matt is doing an unbelievable job going through it the first time. But just think about Matt if he had one more year and he was coming back. So it's really not fair. You can't even. Jimmy Garoppolo, his second year, he knew what we were going to call before we called it. It was just a matter of him waiting for us to call it. If we didn't say anything to him, he'd have called it himself. I mean, that's just getting to know somebody. Matt has done an unbelievable job for a guy in his first year. It's the best job I've ever seen of a guy in his first year.
You said if Matt were coming back, does that mean he will not apply for a medical red shirt, or is that decision not been made?
Well, you're as bad as my wife. I have no idea. I have no idea what he's doing on that.
You said that if Matt were coming back.
Right.
He's not. You said he's not.
No, I said I just if he was coming.
He still could apply for medical.
He still can apply for medical red shirt. Yes. Okay. Nice breaking action.
Will you talk a little bit about your special teams play on Saturday?
It was great to see. I felt like there's games where we've broken even in the special teams, but I thought that was the very first game since I've been here that we clearly won the special teams. And I think that those young men have been working extremely hard. I think Tom Kaufman does a great job with our special teams along with our individual coaches. Coach McLeod has the kickoff return team. Certain coaches have the PAT and the PAT block team, but most of the teams are handled by Tom Kaufman. But to be able to get a block on the opening punt, that just puts stress on every single coach and every single player on the other side of the football field. And then to have a big kickoff return like that, almost take it to the house, I think when you keep that kind of stress on your opponent, I think good things are going to happen to you.
Was there any crisis in terms of confidence in special teams after, there had not really been a game like Saturday before Saturday?
No, I've been a special teams coordinator before. I understand how much work and how much time goes into it. And it really comes down to when the players develop enough reps, they've got enough deposits in the bank, so to speak, to make a withdrawal on their experience. And unfortunately, when you're playing in the MAC conference, the MAC, a lot of times we're playing with young men that haven't had enough deposits in the bank. They don't have enough experience. But once you build that depth on your football team, that's when your special teams normally take off. And Kent State has fantastic depth, and they have a fantastic special teams that we're going to be playing this coming week.
Will you talk a little bit about Melchiori in particular? I mean, that's their punter.
Okay.
They use him very much as a weapon, don't they?
Yeah, I believe he had 5 kicks inside the 22, inside the 10. The game that I watched, it seemed like UMass was in a lot of formations close to the goal line that they normally were not in, trying to get the ball out far enough to get enough space to get back into their normal offense. It controlled some of their offensive calls, I'm sure, and affected the point total during the game. So, I mean, anytime you've got a punter like that can do that with the football, that's definitely an asset and a weapon that you should use in a football game.
Is this team embracing the road trips, playing road football us against the world?
Well, since we have more away games than we have home games, the only way that we can achieve our goals this season was to embrace that. And we talked about the road warrior mentality of going into a hostile crowd, and our cheers are when it's quiet, and reversing that psychology when you can see it. Let's see if we can make the stadium quiet. If we can do that, then we're doing our job, so to speak. But it's been very difficult, and if I'm not mistaken, we've got 5 left, and we still have more road games than we have home games. I might be wrong, but I think I'm right. So we still have to go out there on the road and do good things if we're going to have the season end up the way we want to.
Talk a little bit about UMass's defense, Coach. Obviously, Kent State, I'm sorry.
Threw me. I was listening to you.
Kent State's defensive success that they had against UMass, and I know a quarterback that you admired quite a bit when he came in here, held him to, I think, 170 yards or something in that game. What did they do so well?
It's frightening. It's frightening what they did to UMass. For them to be able to hold that kind of team down to that point total. And I'm telling you, Kent State Coach Haynes did a nice job against us last year, and it was uneasy around the office after that game. I will say that, because you could just see the technical work that they had put into us and how it showed up on the football field, even though we had won the game. You're talking about a front 7. You put the D-line, their 2 interior linebackers, and their all-WAC player, number 18. I'm just going to call him 18 because he made every tackle last year. But they have like 18 sacks between that groups. And they're number 1 in everything in the conference. They're the 11th ranked defense in the country. They're the number 1 ranked defense in the MAC. And they're good. I mean, this is not because of who they played. And again, I saw it last year of how well coached those guys were. Now they've got some different personnel in some different areas, and they got a lot of guys back, and they're well coached. And we're walking on eggshells over here. We know that they're a good team, and we're going to be on the road.
You're obviously going into a pretty tough stretch right now after Kent State, OU, and then you go into the West with Western and that team up north. No chance, obviously, of overlooking this game, I would assume.
This game?
Yeah.
No. This defense is for real. And I think the world of Coach Haynes. This is a good squad. 18, he should have an S on his chest and have a cape coming out the way he played us last year down here. And we need to have a plan for that entire defense, and we need to have a plan for their individuals in that defense that makes it go. And it's going to be a fine contest.
What about their offense then?
Their offense, they got a brand new quarterback. I believe they're gonna cut their teeth with a freshman and let him grow up. He does a nice job throwing the balls that they allow him to throw. He's really effective with his legs. I can't remember. I think he was under 100 yards, but he made a lot of runs. And it looks, some quarterbacks run and it doesn't spook you. This guy looks like he can go, like he's a 4'6", 4'5" guy. It looks like he can really go. So he has legs that can hurt you. They have a 250-pound tailback, upperclassman kid that's a senior. And then they have a freshman that's a thunder and lightning type show, really quick. And then they have a 10'5", 7", 100-meter kid, which means he's about the same speed as Scotty Miller. And if you watch the game, you guys know how fast Scotty Miller is. So they've got speed, they've got size, and they got a quarterback that can run the football with a dynamite punter, fantastic kicking game, and again, best defense in the conference. So it's going to be a heck of a show.
This one's kind of a little offbeat, but do you think Matt Johnson's a legitimate Heisman Trophy candidate, and would you, I guess, petition for him to get that national recognition?
Do I have any juice to write a petition like that anyone's going to listen to?
I mean, petition in front of cameras and things like that. Do you believe that Matt is at that level nationally?
I don't know the answer to that. There's a lot of Power 5 coaches and people that meet in rooms to get 4 teams in championship games, and everything else to decide stuff like that. All I know is that there was a guy at Northern Illinois that was really good that helped his team win. And if Matt is something like that guy and that guy got an opportunity to go, maybe Matt should get an opportunity to go.
Real quick, Coach, Baylor, Ohio State, who do you think should be at the top of the polls?
Coach Browse is my guy now. But I've known Urban a very long time, and he did a great favor for me one time that's really changed my career. So I'm going to stay neutral, and I know that right now those are the two top teams, and I hope that they figure out a way so they can play each other. It'd be awesome.